Hello indie game fans, things are starting to quiet down due to the upcoming holiday period, but a number of indie developers are cleverly using this opportunity to get their games out, so we do have some hidden gems in this edition of Indie Gaming this week. SPACERIFT Arcanum system looks like a very ambitious space sim MMO where you find yourself in the middle of a galactic conflict. There's a cockpit view for your ship, with a whole bunch of ancillary systems like ship upgrades and repairs, side missions and so on, and does look impressive visually as well. One thing to note is that there isn't really any information on this developer, and I don't know how indie they are or how legit this game is, so do proceed with caution, but it does look interesting. The end of the year is usually associated with fireworks, and if there isn't a display where you're at, or fireworks are banned or too dangerous to handle in real life, then Fireworks Mania, an explosive simulator, should be of interest. On top of the standard fireworks displays, you can screw around and blow stuff up as well, which is always fun, so for a wacky sandbox experience, check it out this week. I've been keeping a close eye on Airborne Kingdom ever since it was announced, since this city builder in the sky looks absolutely wonderful and is a very interesting change of pace. I do love city builders, and this is one of the more unique entries in the genre, so of course I'm in.
The world was broken. Fractured by the magic the Vow Keepers said they would protect us from. Spellstorms still rage across the ruins of the Hollowlands. This is proof, they said. It isn't safe. It can't be controlled. Magic cannot be used.
For bigger games this week, the magic-slinging Battle Royale title Spellbreak comes to Steam after being an Epic exclusive for a little while, and based on what I know of it, it does seem to be pretty well received, with an interesting elemental magic system which you can mix and match. There's fire, ice, lightning, poison, and so on, and these interact like how you would expect them to. Fire melts ice, creating water, which when hit with lightning will shock people in contact, so it's another interesting and viable entrant in the space. If you love tactics games, apparently Mercenaries saga is a thing, with Mercenaries Blaze Dawn of the Twin Dragons coming to the West this week. is an anime tactics RPG and seems to be part of quite a long-running franchise, where there's a nice variety of characters and good old tactics combat. Of course, there's a little bit of a Final Fantasy Tactics vibe with this, but I do think that it stands on its own. An interesting entry this week is Colossus Down, coming to us from developer Mango Protocol, who you might remember from games like Mechanica and Agatha Knife. While those were point-and-click adventure games with a sense of dark humour, this game is a straight-up beat-em-up brawler where the main characters from the two previous games team up to destroy everything that they hate. On top of the core brawling action, there appears to be a number of additional elements like platforming, shoot 'em up sections, and even puzzles, so it's a little bit of everything in terms of gameplay. Northern Lights is a survival game set in Siberia, where you play as a forest ranger sent to investigate the disappearance of a crew at a secret facility, so maybe there's something spooky going on. However, with the setting in the snow, one can obviously draw comparisons to The Long Dark, but I'm curious as to what these developers will come up with. Perhaps the survival mechanics are tweaked, or the story elements more central, and as with all snow games, I'm curious as to the tech end of things. One of the zaniest fighting games out there is Fight of Animals, releasing the platform fighter version named Arena this week. The characters are from the original, so it's that same sort of weird and wacky, and I do know about the distinct split between the regular fighting game and platform fighter communities, so it's interesting to see a developer try to do both. I just like how insane this looks, and hopefully this becomes another viable entry in the space. Smaller games this week begins with the Steam version of Adventure Llama, previously released on Switch and mobile, but this puzzle platformer does look interesting, reminding me of Escape Goat, so perhaps I'll give it a look.
Good one. Wonderful. Woo. Whoa. Ouch. Perfect. Watch it. Ouch. Woo. That hurts. Woo. Magnificent.
Boot Hill Heroes is another underrated Western-themed JRPG, which is making its way to Switch, so do check it out if you love the genre. CATTCH is another vibrant looking platformer which looks well made, although it seems to be on the straightforward end of things. There are a number of student graduation projects from the SMU Guildhall launching this week, and my pick of the lots is Crystal Call, a fast-paced first-person platformer that looks pretty good. Dealer's Life 1 released in 2019 and was well received, so here we are with the sequel, which jazzes up the visuals and looks like it has more features as well. Many of you told me in the comments that you're looking forward to fights in tight spaces, having tried out the free demo during events like the Steam Game Festival, so here it comes with the Prologue demo. This looks to be a new build with new coloured enemies, which will be tied to some new mechanics, and it's a turn-based tactics roguelite with deck building that allows you to feel like John Wick or the like in an action movie. Another demo of interest is Harvest Island Beginnings, allowing you to check out the first chapter and to spark your interest in the full game. While I certainly have seen those assets before, always interested in farming sims, so I'll be keeping an eye on this.
So I guess we know what kind of day it's gonna be, don't we, guys?
You are now an official member of the crew, and you will be known from here on as Jacob42.
I'll be honest, I don't like puppets since there's just something off about them, but in spite of that, Howdy Jacob does look to be of interest. This makes us a hidden object game with full motion video, and it's nice to see something new being put into this genre.
And we'll be best friends. Thanks again.
Idle Monster TD also makes it to Steam from mobile, but an idle game where your monsters can evolve will always be of interest to the monster taming fan in me. The 16-bit spectacular open-world action title Shakedown Hawaii gets ported to PS5 and will be making use of the DualSense controller with the adaptive triggers. It's also cross-buy with PS4, 3 or Vita, so if you already own it, perhaps check it out since there have been some free content patches since then. Always interested in idle games, and a title that looks interesting is Simpocalypse, having you manage a civilization in the post-apocalypse, with some strategy and combat elements as well. An action roguelike that has quietly gotten very popular is SYNTHETIK, releasing the Ultimate Edition on Xbox One and Switch, but the update will be on Steam as well, enhancing the story, adding new rare enemies, new music, a new alchemy shop, and a new final room and more. So certainly a no-brainer pick, even if it did not really resonate with me. An announcement that many of you have been waiting for is that the awesome pixel art Metroidvania Touhou Lunar Nights finally makes it to Switch, although I could only find the Japanese eShop page, but hopefully you will be able to access this on the 17th. A unique-looking first-person platformer is Ursa, where you travel the planet, activating beacons and finding collectibles. Really pretty look, although it should be a smaller experience. The wonderfully weird, friendship-centered puzzle game Wattam makes it to Steam after being an Epic exclusive, and as of note, since this is from the creator of Katamari. Although unlike other games that have made a similar jump, there doesn't appear to be any new content or the like. I love the look of Mech Engineer, really reminding me of DOS games to some extent, but this is a strategy game where you design and build mechs, choosing components such as the reactor, weapons, armor and such, thereafter sending them into battle where you do not have direct control. Very interesting retro look, which is pixel art, and I'm interested to see how deep this rabbit hole goes. A creepy looking thriller title is SSTR, where you're on a spaceship where the AI has gone rogue and she is hunting down the crew on board.
Good morning, Horizon. We are 16 days into my mission.
In typical horror or thriller game fashion, this self-describes as an escape room style puzzle game, so it has you wandering the halls, searching for items and clues to solve the puzzles and to move forward.
My drone to throw your body out of the airlock.
The antagonistic forces here are enemy drones controlled by the AI, so there's some amount of threat, and it does look polished and well made, so it gets a spot. A nice surprise entry is Ancient Cities, a city or civilization builder that starts off in the Mesolithic era, but the developers are looking towards exploring the different eras of history from Greece, Rome and the Middle Ages. I'm a big fan of city builders since I simply enjoy building cities that function like clockwork, so of course I'm in for this. The reason why I say this was a surprise is that it was kickstarted back in 2017, so it has been a while, so for the early access version to pop up just before the end of the year is a nice present. the release trailer does look a little choppy and does differ from the other screenshots on the store page, so I'm a bit cautious, but still great to see this. And in one of the most fitting titles for the season, Santa Craft is a crafting and base building title where you need to rebuild Santa's village and to save Christmas. It has you plowing through snow, chopping down gingerbread trees and mining candy canes, and just looks very well made and of interest. Developer Milkbag Games did also make the underappreciated Future Grind, so I do have confidence in them, with this looking perfect for December, taking the #1 spot. To see more of the big picture, check out these awesome videos, and I will see you after the jump.